In this video, I'm going to teach you what exactly is Cursor AI, how to download it, install it, and use it to make your first Chrome extension like this, where you can chat with the AI, ask them to code, and put that code into practice to create something useful like this Chrome extension. You can go to any complex thing like this, which is a science journal from Cornell University about faint blue galaxies. Select all this text, right click, and process it with your add-on, and then get a summary which is explaining you all the complex things like you are a 5-year-old kid. And I'll tell you everything step by step, how to make a logic, how to define your extension right in here, how to define all of these files, and how to chat with the AI, and finally how to make a working extension which you can use to learn faster and faster and to grasp any knowledge in very simplified way just by doing right click on whatever you want to learn. So let's get started. Okay, so this is Cursor, and the tagline says the AI code editor built to make your extraordinarily productive. Cursor is the best way to code with AI. And this is a video that you can see just to see how Cursor works in action. And it's trusted by a lot of companies which are really respected in the world of AI. And this is the major thing about Cursor, and that's the main thing about Cursor, that it knows the context of your code, right? And I feel the best thing about this is, let's say you want to add or chat with an AI with your code on the left. So the AI would give you things, and what Cursor will do is Cursor will help you append those things inside your pre-existing code. So without Cursor, what you would have done was you would have just chatted with an AI, maybe ChatGPT or maybe Claude, and whatever changes those LLM models would have given you, you would have copied those again and again in the same file, which was your source file of your code. Now with Cursor, how it has changed is that it will change the things and it will automatically just append those changes inside your file. So it saves a lot of hassle of copying and pasting again and again. And also it simplifies the version control of your files. And this is the predictive code feature of Cursor. So whatever you're coding, you can just hit tab and Cursor will automatically figure out what you're trying to code, and it will give you the pre-built predictive code so that you can just press enter and move forward. The whole point of using Cursor is to be fast in deploying whatever you want to do. And that's exactly what we are going to say in today's video. I'm going to create an entirely new Chrome extension. And to be honest, I have some knowledge of creating Chrome extensions, but not really of this level, of this complexity. So I'm going to also do this for the first time on this video. And I'll try to keep all the errors that happened in the process intact so that you get a real world feel of how it is to create something from scratch in which you have little or no experience in, right? So, and yes, one more thing is you can edit in your natural language. So if you're not a hardcore coder and you do not know what an object is, what an array is, what a pointer is, but you just know that this is the thing that you want to achieve in plain English language, you can just explain it to Cursor and it will automatically do the changes for you in code. And I think that's amazing, right? So everything is fine. Let's just download Cursor from here, right here, and we'll download the file. And let me just open the installer of the Cursor. So it has downloaded a zip file on my Mac, and if I open the zip file, this comes as Cursor installation dialog box. And in few minutes, it would be installed like that. Okay, and this is asking me to input my preferences. So it will take my VS Code key bindings by default. If you want to have some other key bindings that you use already, you can use Vim, you can use Emacs, whatever you use. You can just import the key bindings from that, and you can add language and you can do all of this. So let's click continue here and let's start from scratch. Okay, and let's go to privacy mode. Let's click continue. You're all sign up. Okay, so they require an account to be logged in. You cannot use Cursor without a logged in account. But there is a skip now button. So let's skip now. And are you sure you want to skip login? You can log in later, but it takes less than a minute now. And without it, you won't be able to use any of the AI features. So it's important to sign up or log in. So let me just create an account quickly and let me log in, and I'll come back with a logged in full cursor experience for you. It's now successful, and let's open cursor. Do I need to log in? I don't know. Open cursor. Okay, everything is set up now. This is the basic. Let me just close all of this. Let me make it bigger for you. Okay, so this is the basic premise of cursor. This is, I think, built on VS Code, and people who know or who have coded in VS Code know this interface very well. And by default, my VS Code looks very different because I have custom colors, custom all of that. But since we are starting from scratch, this is the vanilla version of cursor that you would see if you do not import any setting whatsoever. Okay, so by default, cursor tutor has all these things which you can see. You can have like bug bindings, explaining code. So basically, do you want to install the recommended C++? No, we don't want any of these. And so these are the tutorials that you can choose, and this is a getting started guide that you can read up. But who reads manuals, right? We don't read manuals when we start with a new machine. So let's start without any knowledge of manuals like we always do in real life. All right. So we want to make a new Chrome extension from start, and I have already sketched a logic for that Chrome extension. Let me show it to you. So this is what I want to achieve with my Chrome extension, right? So I want to create a Chrome extension on which I can select any text anywhere on any website. I can right click on that and I can send that text to ChatGPT via API, and I want to get a response on that on that text through the same ChatGPT API, right? So imagine it like a assistant for your replies on social media, or you want to research about anything, you want to type something in response to anything, ChatGPT can help you with just a right click. Okay, so the logic would be select the text, right click, and it will open up a context menu. We can also have multiple context menus. We'll see what's the feasibility as we move forward. But right now, I want to do this, and then I want to send the selected text to ChatGPT API, and I want to get response back from the assistant that I already would have defined on ChatGPT interface. And then I want to paste the response to clipboard, so that that's the easiest way to paste my response to wherever I'm doing whatever I'm doing using this extension. Okay, so let's go back to cursor and let's chat with the AI and let's instruct it to create what we want. Okay, so let's drag and drop our folder, which I have named as Chrome extension. Let's drag and drop here, and let's add folder to workspace. Select that folder and let's create a new file, manifest.json. Okay, because this is the file that every Chrome extension has, which lists all the details about that Chrome extension. So let's start with a blank slate, and we open the window for the chat interface of cursor, and let's instruct and let's give cursor our first instruction on creating what we want, right? So let's say let's click enter and let's see what it comes back with. All right, it's giving us all the things. So it has given us the code for this file, the manifest.json file, and here is the apply button. So if I click apply, it automatically copies all the code over here and I can accept it. And it has given us instructions about what else needed to be done. So let's ask it, make all the files and give me the code. Okay, so there is a background.js. So let's copy this and let's create a new file right here. Name it background.js, open it and let it complete. And then I'll click apply. And I click continue. And I click accept. Then I click on popup.html. Go here, new file, name it like that. apply the code, accept. Then we have JS file, open JS, apply, continue, and accept. Then I have content. I'll click new file, content, apply, continue. Okay, so by so cursor says that this will now work. Let's see if it really works or not. So this is all fine. So we go to our Chrome extension folder. This is the folder and this is all the files that we have created. So now we have to test this extension. We can do it in Chrome or we can do it in any browser based on Chrome, which is what I'm going to do right now with Arc, because Arc is based on Chromium. So it will get installed inside Arc as well, right? So we go back to Arc and we go to manage extensions like that. And we go to load, and manifest is not a valid JSON. Okay, so let's copy this and go back to cursor and paste this error. So it's fixing the manifest. Let's go to manifest and click apply, accept, save. Let's save all of these. And we go back here to the Arc and we retry this. Okay, the icons files are not loaded because there is no icons. So I will ask it to remove all the icons. Okay, let's go back to manifest and let's apply this now. Accept, save it, go back to Arc, retry. Yes, and now it's done. So you see, ChatGPT text processor is what's loaded. Now the time is here to test this out. Okay, so first of all, let's enable this. We go here and we have to enter our ChatGPT key, which we're gonna get through our OpenAI playground or OpenAI API interface. And let's quickly do that. Open API, we go to dashboard, API keys, and from here we can create an API key. It says Chrome extension, create a secret key. And now I can copy this and I can go back to our extension and paste our API key. Okay, so the API key is saved, as you can see. Now let's say I select this text and I select here, I right click, and this is a new context menu that has appeared because we asked to add a context menu on our right click event. Okay, so if I click here, let's see what happens. So this is the response from ChatGPT which it gave us. Okay, so it's working and it's a good news that it's working. And we had just made a working extension with the use of ChatGPT API in just like 10 or 12 minutes using Cursor, right? That's amazing, because otherwise it would have taken us a lot of learning and a lot of hours of our time to get it to this level of working, right? Now we can iterate on that and we can tell ChatGPT what to do and what not to do in this situation. So right now, this whole thing is kind of hard to read. So let's ask ChatGPT to make the contrast ratio a little bit better. Okay. Okay. So we come back here and let us see where is that element which defines the color of that output box. This is show overlay message. This was the overlay when it was showing processing and sending to ChatGPT. The response is actually the box that was displayed on the bottom right of our page. So we'll change the background color here is white, which is fine. Let's ask ChatGPT to change this function, and to do that, we will include the content.js file like that in the context, and we will ask that in the function change the text color to black and increase readability. Okay, So let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so it has changed the, what has it changed? Set the text color to black and increase the line height and did all of these things. Okay, so let's apply this and click accept, save it. Now let's do the same thing. Go back to extensions, my extensions, remove this and go back here. Where is the extension? Here it is. And enter my API key, saved. Let's go back here, process with ChatGPT. Yes, now it's looking much, much better. Okay, so now what we have done is we have made an extension which basically sends the data if we select and right click to ChatGPT and brings some response back. Now let's make it a little more useful, right? So let's say we want to make it like an explanation bot. So let's say we are doing some research online and we want to have an assistant at our hand that we can right click anything and it will explain to us in simple terms. Okay, so let's go back to cursor and let's delete the context for this particular file and it will have the context for every single thing in this particular folder. Let's select the folder right here. Okay, so let's ask assign the role to the ChatGPT assistant to explain whatever I'm sending as text in simple language or explain like I'm 5, right? LE5. LE5 is basically when someone explains something like they would explain to a 5-year-old, right? So let's do this and let's see what it comes back with. Okay, so it's changing background.js and it's changing call ChatGPT API. So we'll also see what it is doing. Okay, so it has added the role of system as you are a helpful assistant that explains concept in simple languages as if explaining to a 5-year-old, blah, blah, blah. And the user prompt is, please explain this as I'm 5-year-old. And it is getting the text as coming from the text which is copied, which we are sending by right clicking the extension. Okay, so let's go to background and let's apply this, accept, and this is just explanation, so everything is fine. We just save it, we go back and we go back to extensions, we remove this, load, and we again put our API key. Okay, so let's go to Wikipedia and let's figure out some complex to test this out. So let's say we are going to see, or let's say we want to see laminar flow. Okay, this is one of my favorite topics in physics to understand laminar flow. So let's say I select, this is pretty explanatory to be honest. So let's say I select this. So this says flowing through a closed channel such as pipe or between two flat pipes, either of two, all of this. It's saying something in a little complex language, though I won't say it is complex, but let's test what our extension can come up with. So we right click this and we process with GPT. Okay, so it's giving me response. All right, imagine you have a straw there where you blow bubbles inside. When the bubble moves slowly through the straw, it's called laminar flow. It's like when you color inside the lines in your coloring book. But sometimes when you blow really hard, the bubbles start to bounce around and move all crazy. That's called turbulent flow. It's like when you scribble all over the paper with your crayons. Isn't this amazing? Because I'm not sure if I would be able to create this if Cursor wasn't there, or if we were not present in today's day and time with AI. Of course, I would have been able to do that, but it would have taken a lot more time and a lot more effort than what we just did in like a video of maybe 15-20 minutes. And that's what all it takes. And since you can reach here, you can reach anywhere, right? So if you can create this, you can iterate on top of that. Like I can create sub menus inside my right click menu, which is right now just process. What is it called? Right now it's called process with ChatGPT. Okay, we can have a sub menu inside these, or multiple sub menus, which can say, explain me like helpful, explain me like a physics teacher, right? Or it can say, explain me like somebody who's doing PhD in this subject, right? Or I can just put any YouTuber's name, explain me like how Mr. Beast would explain it, right? Or explain it like how Veritasum would explain it. Okay, so the possibilities are amazing, the possibilities are endless, and you can do a lot of things. What can I do else here? So for a second test, let's go to Google Scholar. Okay, and let's ask for something else, maybe dark matter. Okay, and these are all the Google Scholar articles that have come up. Let's go with this one, theory of dark matter. Okay, so this is an abstract of the whole theory, of the whole paper, and to me it looks pretty complex. So let's just select all of this like that, and let's right click and process with ChatGPT. And here is the response and the explanation as you would explain to somebody who is 5 years old. Isn't this amazing? You can select anything, right click, and get a ChatGPT response with LE5 level of explanation, right? And all of this was just created by Cursor AI in like 10, 15, or maybe 20 minutes of having an idea. The whole point of AI is to reduce the time between having an idea and getting a fundamental working product, right? And right now we did this in this one video with having an idea at the start, and by the end of it, we are actually having a working product. Of course, we can iterate it. Of course, we can have different personas. We can have sub menus inside our right click, in which we can say, explain it like somebody who is a scholar, or maybe somebody who's doing a PhD on the same subject. And if you can leverage AI to learn more and more in least possible time, I think you'll become unstoppable, because my fundamental belief in life is knowledge is power. There is so less time, there is so much to learn. And if something can accelerate my learning process, I would wholeheartedly welcome that in my life. So I would advise you to play with Cursor. And if you have some more ideas of what kind of things you can imagine to be made with AI coding, drop your comments. And if I like some of those ideas, probably I'll make more videos like this. But I really enjoyed creating this, because I had no idea, like I told you before the video started, what exactly I want to make. But as we moved through, I actually made something that I would personally use daily in my life, because this is so useful to me. This was my first experience with Cursor AI, and I loved it. And I hope you also liked it. So give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.